Hey, welcome to Masknificent Vlogcast. I want to jump right into what I'm going to be talking about today. And it's around, what is it time out for? What are the things that you need to no longer be doing? What's no longer serving you that maybe you're still continuing to go through the routine and just kind of beat the drum, of the same routine, so to speak, but it's really time out for it. Who are people in your world that you really need a time out from, or you just need to simply let them go? What are activities that you're doing that, it's time out for that? And if you're like stalling on goals and things you need to be doing, it's like it's time out to stop stalling. I mean, life isn't promised. We have to be intentional each day about what we're here to do. And so you really have to examine, like, what are you actually here for, and what do you want to achieve as it relates to moving forward with your goals, right? So you got to know, what is it time out for? What is it time out for? What do you need to stop playing around with, right? But there's an interesting caveat to this as well, is that you also have to look at, what is it time for? Because sometimes when you know what it's time for, then you know what it's time out for, what you can no longer afford to be doing, an allowance you can no longer afford to pay, as it relates to moving forward. So you really have to be thinking about these things. A lot of times people just go through life just willy-nilly, haphazardly, just doing things and not being really conscious of the choices that they're making, and think that time is like on their side, and like time doesn't wait for anyone. So you really have to be intentional about what you're here to do. But again, sometimes the process of elimination can help you to become more clear in terms of, what is it time out for? What am I putting up with? What am I settling for that I should no longer be settling, in this area? Is there an area I need to be studying in that I'm not applying myself? Where do I need to skill up? Where do I need to level up? So you need to be thinking about these things, continuously. I mean, it happens to the best of us. Nobody is above reproach here. You have to be, as I mentioned, intentional. I can't emphasize that word enough, because a lot of times we just aren't really living with intention. We try to set intentions, but how often are we actually committed to, to carrying it out? And sometimes you don't know what to do because you're not clear. But this is the time where you have to be clear and courageously committed. And I have works, around that particular subject, but it's really time out for not knowing what to do. It's really time out for not being clear, because you can get clarity and you can get understanding around areas that maybe seem a little bit foggy to you. Sometimes you have to approach things differently so that you can get maybe some new insight and new wisdom, all right? Even, I'm going to say this, even with your prayer life and your meditation life, sometimes you have to shift that routine. You have to switch it up and do something different, approach it differently to get some different results, all right? Now, it doesn't matter what it is. Sometimes you're going to have to shift things. So what's it time out for? What routine is it time out for? What ritual is it time out for? And then what is it time for? As I was mentioning earlier, these are important. And if we continue to kind of neglect this area and then wonder why we continue to be stuck, why we're not moving forward, I mean, the handwriting is on the wall, so to speak. It's very clear. But if we walk around blindsided and not, again, living with intention, then we're going to find ourselves always behind the 8 ball, year after year, never really accomplishing that which we really set out for. Maybe we make some moves and get some places, but not the accelerated fashion that it could be. So again, just something to think about. I wanted to come forth and talk about this during this time because it's important. We're halfway through the year now. And before you know it, the next year is going to be here. And you still have time to be intentional. But again, you got to look at, what is it time out for and what's it time for. All right, so that's what I have for you today. And I hope that this has been empowering. And I look forward to being back with you soon. Take care and stay blessed.